In case you haven't noticed, my theme for this endless summer is the liberation of northern South America, Gran Colombia in particular. And I have been visiting historic sites associated with Bolivar and Santander and Sucre's struggle to liberate Colombia from the Spaniards. I think it's kind of interesting. There's a lot of great history about this here. And if you notice that maybe this isn't the greatest stable video, that's because I lost my little cam that had a, well, let's just say I lost my Pocket 2 DJI, and well, it stabilized photos much better than I can with this camera. So at any rate, hope you enjoy it. Hope you're enjoying the trip. There's more to see. I have made it all the way to the Caribbean and stuck my feet in the water. And now I'm going to start working back south, granted very slowly, towards Otavalo, Ecuador. At which point I will have linked up my travels overland from the Caribbean all the way down to the Bolivian border in southern Peru. Stick around, there's sure to be more to come. Feed your head. And with that in mind, today I'm visiting La Quinta, where Simón Bolívar died before he was able to sail for Europe and France. And I suggest other boaters take a little time off from paddling occasionally, or take longer trips, and learn about the culture and history of the places that you love to go visit and play in the whitewater. Standing behind me is a monument they constructed in 1930 on the 100th anniversary of his death, which is coming up in a few days on Thursday, December 17th. And this is a marble statue of Bolivar in death. It is actually life-size. He was rather short. In the time of his death, he only weighed 36 kilos. He died of consumption, they called it at the time, or tuberculosis as it's better known for now. Being here as a hillbilly, I can tell you the local climate would be horrible for someone with tuberculosis. It's very hot and humid, not the easiest to breathe. This is the bedroom and the camp bed where Bolivar died. See the flag Colombia on it. This is where he spent his last days. His hope was to go to Europe and France, but he died of tuberculosis here. So this hacienda where Simón Bolívar died was a sugarcane farm, basically. They grew sugarcane, they made panela out of it, which is really dark, unrefined sugar, and they also distilled some of the juice into rum right here. By the way, keep in mind, Bolivar was broke by the time he died here. He had spent everything he had on the revolution and the wars, and he freed all his slaves. As one of his first sponsors was Haiti, and their condition for giving money toward the revolution to drive the Spanish out of South America, especially Colombia and Venezuela, was that all the slaves had to be freed, and Simón Bolívar did free his. However, this is a sugarcane, or was a sugarcane plantation where they made basically panela, which is dried molasses, I guess, for you hillbillies, if that helps. And way back there in the background is this distillery where they made rum out of it. This was heavily a very labor-intensive endeavor, growing the sugar cane and all the rest of the process. So yes, slaves were used. So, hey, there are some contradictions, even in the United States as well, maybe even more so. They freed the slaves first here. So in case you haven't noticed, my trips aren't just about going and playing in whitewater. In fact, I don't even share that kind of stuff anymore. For the most part, let's have real purpose. I feed my mind, and I'm trying to share with you. There are some really cool stuff you can do here beyond just the adventures. And I might add, those of you who aren't crazy kayakers like my friends that come rafting with me and make all these trips possible, all this is well within your reach. So I'm trying to give back and let you see what you too can do, and maybe you learn a little about culture and history along the way. I think it's a great way to feed your head and to make the most out of your adventuring. And I was told by my guide that if you hug this wonderful tree, it exudes beneficial energy. So, hey, I think I will. What a lovely day. And a wonderful big tree. Only thing comes close to this is maybe angel oak or some of the really old growth trees in Joyce Kilmore Forest up in my part of the world. Well, I made it here to Santa Marta. You can see from the sign, support. There's some cargo containers off there in the distance. And yeah, this ain't the beach because it's deeper right here, but there are beaches available. I've been warned the water's not so pristine, and that eating fish on the beach is a great way to get cholera if you have not been vaccinated. So you've been warned. Eat whatever the hell you want, but if you get really sick or die, don't blame me. And you know I'll eat almost any street food, so I'm giving you a warning. Anyways, I made it this far. You can see the port back there. And looking back the other way, you can actually see the beach. So, warning to you frugal travelers, everything is expensive here. It's like any other beach. All the food is marked up 100%. And let me tell you, it's not any better than everywhere else I've eaten in Colombia. Well, I actually found some place with a reasonable breakfast similar to what I found elsewhere. So let's see how it goes. I'll post a picture. So, made it all the way to the Caribbean. I got my feet in the water. Got sand stuck all over me. So it's official. I made it all the way to the Caribbean. I made it to the northern edge of South America. And in short order, being I'm a hillbilly and I like mountains better, I'm going to start heading south and link up with Otavalo, Ecuador eventually, at which point I will have traveled overland from the top of South America all the way to the Bolivian border in south of Peru. Eventually, I will take on the southern countries, but not this trip, because I plan to go back to work in the summer. So, stay tuned. Hope you guys are enjoying the videos. I'm a lot happier now that I had my breakfast. Yeah, I'm kind of grumpy in the morning until I get some eggs and some coffee. So stay tuned. I've got some silly things planned. I'll try to be jovial. The heat and humidity is really killing me compared to what I'm accustomed to. So there is going to be some history on this segment of the tour, which is why I came to Santa Marta. There's some crazy statues around here too.